Yo, how's it going?
Good, buddy. How about you?
Good. I don't have any music, so I might just start pretty quick here after I share this link
Cool.
around. All right, there's a link up top. Retweeted it. I'm going to share it around and stuff.
All right. How you been?
Pretty good. Yeah,
Good.
I just had Art Basel over the weekend. I live
Yeah, I
in
saw that.
Miami, so I
How was
didn't.
it?
It was good. I didn't do much like many parties, but I went to the actual Art Basel event, and it's like a humongous warehouse full of more like what are they called? I forget what they're called, like exhibitions, more exhibitions than I've seen in one place, like anywhere else, like
Yeah,
twice
it's
in a row.
huge.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, looking at it from above, it looks like an art factory or something. But the pieces are really nice still. It's just overwhelming a little bit.
Right. It's funny. I was born and raised in Florida. I lived there for probably 40 years of my life, and in being in the art world, I've never made it to Art Basel.
Yeah, I just tore around. I haven't really like. We live like I don't know, 2 or 3 blocks down from the event, so I figured we had to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, right.
All right, Moon, how are you doing? How about we start with you?
Yeah, that's fine. Sure.
Okay, so just to explain the space a little bit, this is ApeChain Art Hours. This is our 13th episode. Um, I'm
Lucky
gonna,
number 13.
yeah, lucky number 13. I'm pinning up to the top the sign up form for anybody that wants to apply to talk about or applied, but submit an application for their uh, artwork or NFT project if they want to come up and talk about it. Um, sorry, 1 second. Link is lost. All right, here's photo. But yeah, it's just anonymous Google Forms, and anybody that's interested in being a featured artist, feel free to fill that out. RFTZ, what's up? I'm going to add you up too. But yeah, the space mostly we're talking about people's art process. It's more about getting to know the artist behind the work. In some cases, people are like Moon. I don't know if you've got a project on Ape Chain. I think you're like thinking of one. So we're just like talking to you about your current art and history and
Cool.
what things you might do. Um, so yeah. Uh, so why don't you give us like your story? How did you get into sculpture making?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool story. So I've worked in metals pretty much my whole life, and starting in like 1990. But I spent like 23 years as a high-end jewelry designer, and I come from 4 generations of jewelers, so it seemed like the most logical career path. And so I took an apprenticeship under my grandfather and dad and uncles and shit, and we had a family business for many years since the early 50s in Florida. And but I always had this dream and desire to do like large scale work. And but so I was in the jewelry industry, like I said, for like 23 years. And 2008 rolled around, and my wife and I got hit really hard with the financial crisis. And so that kind of stemmed this thought, was like, okay, well, you've always had this dream and desire to do large scale work. Now is the time, since the frickin' shit's everything's going to shit. So my wife and I pretty much picked up everything that we knew, and we in Florida, where all our friends and family were, and we decided that we would move to North Carolina and literally, start our lives over again. And so we did that, and so I embarked on a journey of following this dream and doing large scale work. And I started doing a lot of exhibitions and events and things like that. And every event that I would go to, I would sell out. And I was like, well, shit, this seems really good. And so I finally made a leap of faith to where, I would do it full time. And it's been like the best decision ever. And so, my studio, I have a studio at my house. I've got a converted, barn. Basically, it's large and hosts all my, tools and equipment and stuff that I use for sculpting. And so, now, I'm full scale, metal sculptor, and I do a lot of commercial work for, large industries, and also a lot of residential as well. Not only in the state of North Carolina, but all over the United States and internationally as well. I've got sculptures in Paris and Great Britain, Australia, and all over the United States. So, I feel blessed to be able to pursue something, especially in the art, and be an artist and be a full-time artist. So I feel very blessed to be able to do it.
Yeah, congratulations. That's pretty incredible that you're able
Thank
to do
you.
the full time. Can you tell us about? I pinned up three of your photos. I made a post of that you'd sent me, and there's one of them that's like a large, uh, like metal curve with a blue ball on it.
Hmm.
Um, can you tell us like start to finish the process that went into making that piece? Because I'm not really familiar with like metal sculpting at all.
Sure, sure, sure. So, so basically, I had clients that live in Western North Carolina in the mountains, and they commissioned me to make them a sculpture. And so basically, in that picture, what it is, or how my process is basically is I start with just plain sheets of steel, and I use mild steel, and I use like 16 gauge steel, if you're familiar with any gauges and steel or whatnot. But anyway, um, it's kind of common practice to use 16 gauge in that type of fabrication. And so, basically, I make a form out of steel, and I use like quarter-inch bar, and then I roll it and kind of make a frame of the sculpture. And then I take flat sheet of steel and then weld to the frame all the way around. So basically, it's four pieces of steel, but then it's all welded, and then it's ground down, and then it's sanded, and so it's very smooth. And then once that process of the fabrication is done, then I use different primers and then different patinas, basically, which is like a fancy word for paint for steel. And then that particular sculpture, the the curved piece is like a matte finish, but it's gray and then it's black, and then the sphere is actually forged steel, making this sphere. And I use like a translucent patina, and basically what you see is like striations, like grind marks in the sphere. And because it's translucent, it kind of, I don't know, it almost glows. It's very cool, like when the sun hits it, or any sort of light refraction hits it, it like freaking dances. It's really, really cool.
When you say that you're working full time, are you talking about like mostly from commissions for these artworks?
Yeah, yeah, mostly for commissions. And then also I have work in galleries and stuff as well.
What gallery are you most excited about?
Well, I have a gallery in North Carolina. I'm also an owner and a member of the gallery, but I exhibit in there. Uh, and then some different artist guilds in my state as well that I participate in, and um, do pretty well with that as well. But I don't
What
do like too much shows anymore. Like I'm blessed to be busy enough to where I really don't do a lot of like, art shows and stuff like that. So because I just stay completely busy with commission work. But you'd ask me about like ApeChain and stuff like that, and I'd entertain the idea, and I've seen people do it before in the past, but like one of ones of a digital and then a physical sculpture, and that's kind of entertaining to me. I think that would kind of be a neat concept, a small run, but something that I would entertain, and
right? So
yeah.
like you have your and everything. So like I think it would bring more value to the chain, like because you're a real artist. I mean, where I mean real artist, like you're actually like you have pieces in real life.
Hmm.
So digitizing them and putting on a chain like Ape Chain, where a lot of everybody here supports each other.
Yeah.
I think it would be a cool thing to see. In general, I think it would be dope if you did it.
Thank you, dude. Yeah. So this is actually the first time that I've ever kind of come out and really said to the public, "Hey, look, this is what I do for a living." Like some dudes, like friends that I have in a few of the discords that I'm a member of, like 10 KTF and Crazy Carls and stuff like that. Those guys are my homies, and a lot of them know like what I do. But for the most part, like I really try to keep Web3 and Web2 separate. But over the last, I don't know, 5 years or whatever that I've been in the space, I've met so many people that it just seemed, like it was about time to really come out as, a profession of what I do and really, tell everybody what I do. And so this is really the first time that I've ever really talked to you guys really about what I do.
um, are you able to tell us like what the approximate price of these sculptures are when you get commissioned?
Yeah, so the one that I had discussed and explained the fabrication process. So that piece was roughly 8 feet tall, and it was $8,500. And so
Nice.
usually, yeah, and so my sculptures vary in price depending on size and scope and the time that it takes to make them. But a couple grand and up, sometimes, or 20 grand, just really depends on, if it's residential or if it's commercial, and stuff like that. I've got quite a few commercial pieces in hospitals and stuff like that.
So if you were looking like the NFT direction, would you be like just making sculptures one of ones and shipping them out, like selling them one at a time, or like
Mm,
uh,
I think what
you'd build them custom for people that buy the NFT, or how do you think you'd go about it?
I don't know. I mean, perhaps, or maybe, do a small run of maybe 100 to 300 ish, maybe more of a tabletop size, and then have them made so that when the NFT was launched, that, whoever bought, you know, could have it right away. But, my turnaround, um, right now, with larger pieces, can take a while. So it's really something that I would need to consider, what would be the best angle. And obviously that, I would ask you guys too, what you think, and hit you guys up, you know?
I mean, I think this would be really cool. This is amazing physical, and it's not that crazy of an amount of money to spend in NFT world, even if you
Right.
did the full size thing. But
Right.
like tabletop's definitely easier for people to store. Right now, I don't think I've got room for an 8 foot sculpture, even though that would be sick.
I know. I know. Right.
But there's
Right.
definitely people that would. I
For
mean,
sure.
shit, and
For
definitely in
sure.
this space. So it's cool that you're bringing
Totally.
in both your like outside world into this space too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's exciting. You know, when you kind of first entertained that idea and I saw that you were doing this, I was like, you know, it's time. You know, I mean, we've been friends for a while now. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
fuck, let's do it. You know, let's go.
You'd actually be like the first one to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be cool.
that'd be
That would be
sick.
cool.
I mean,
Yeah, that would be cool.
there's not even that many physicals really even on Ethereum. Definitely not like the style of sculpture I can think of.
Yeah,
Right?
not a sculpture, bro. Like a sculpture, that's kind of crazy.
It'd be pretty dope, huh?
Here's
I
a
think so,
picture.
man. I think so. I think it'd be a great thing to do. For, execution.
Uh-huh.
Execute. That'd be nice.
All right. Well, I like it.
In the pinned photo up top, is that you making in the last one making a piece?
Yeah, that's my mug. My mug shot. Me and my
Nice.
beard. Yeah. Most of the PFPs I have all have beards in them. It's kind of my thing. My jam.
Beard guy.
That's it.
Do you um I guess is there any do you want to tell us about one more of these pieces? How about this one with the two red symbols up at the top? Like
Yeah.
who commissioned
Yes.
it? What was the process like?
Yeah. So my my two go-tos really that I do a lot of is abstract, and then I do a lot of Asian inspired pieces. And I don't know, I just have a really affliction towards like the spiritual realm, and like with Asian culture and stuff like that. And I try to implement like spiritual principles within these Asian inspired pieces. So a lot of them will have I typically use Japanese kanjis. I use a lot of kanjis, which are like the Japanese characters that you see, the symbols, and they just kind of resonate with me. Like tranquility, serenity, stuff like that. And they look really phenomenal in gardens and stuff like that, in landscape. And I have a lot of clients that have Japanese gardens, or they have sculpture walks, and a lot of that Asian-esque theme, Japanese maples and stuff like that, and they just look kick-ass in landscape and stuff like that. Also in your home as well, if you resonate with that. But yeah, they're totally cool. So there's, I don't know, they're really fun to make. I do like a lot of like Japanese bells as well. And they're just really fun to make. And they, they have a really good energy to them, if you will. Not to get all woo woo or whatnot, but they're pretty cool.
I like that. um Let me think here. So is this the first time you'd be releasing like any kind of blockchain artwork?
It is, yeah,
That's awesome. Do
yeah.
you have any idea like the timeline, or are you just messing around right now?
I don't know. It's just a vision of or thought of my head. It's something that I've been toying around with. And so you might be the fire under my feet.
You should take in basically like pre-orders. I think that'd be cool. Like
You
do
think? Okay.
NFTs.
You
Yeah,
think
like I don't know.
you think people will go for that? I mean,
People buy images with no physicals attached to them all the time, so I don't see
good
why they
point.
wouldn't buy
Good
a
point. Good
physicals
point.
with an image that comes, even if it takes 90 days to prepare all of them. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point for sure.
But
I
no,
think
I
they
think
will. I mean, because like when you're an artist too, you want to like, you're really protective over your work, so you want to make like everything perfect and stuff.
Right.
So that's a big thing. So when you release it, you're like, it's kind of you're kind of hesitant to to see how people are going to respond to it. Especially because I know how much time it takes to make something like what you're doing. It takes a lot of time. So sometimes you don't even want to release it at all because it's just like it's so good. You're like, damn, I want to share this. Right? So, and going into a new sector like what we're talking about, that takes a lot of courage and stuff. So, but I
Yeah.
think a lot of people appreciate it for sure. It's a unique concept. You actually have real molds. I think people will appreciate this for real. I
Well,
really do.
I appreciate the encouragement.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah, man.
would you accept commissions from people in the space?
Yeah, I would love it. I mean, that's kind of, might have been my part of my motivation to kind of tell the world, what I do, not just I'm just not a PFP character. Like this is what I do for a living. So I was like, yeah, I certainly welcome the commissions because that's how I make my living. So hell yeah,
So
definitely.
if someone wanted to commission with you, like what style of works can you make, and like what should they know, and like where can they go to contact you or look up your work?
Well, I mean, the best thing to do, we could start with DMs and then or you could email me. I mean, I can give you my email if you think I should do that, or we could start with DMs through Twitter or X.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds fine. I just wanted to give you a chance to plug your like personal business if you wanted to
Yeah,
with a
so
website or whatever.
yeah, so the name of my business is sculpturesmith.com, and you can email me at sculpturesmith@gmail.com. And
Awesome.
so, yeah, so my last name is Smith, which is very common. And being a sculptor, I figured, screw it, it would be a great business name instead of, my first name and then Smith, to just have a business name, Sculpture Smith. It just made sense. So I just rolled with that for years. And so that's the name of my business.
I like it. Reminds me of blacksmith or something like that.
There you go. Exactly. I'm a smith. Like, I was a goldsmith for 23 years, and now I'm a metalsmith. So I'm true to my last name.
Does anyone else have any questions for Moon about his previous artwork or anything he's got coming up? Well,
Yeah, well, I do actually. Do you have a
perfect.
time? When do you think? Is there a timeline that you have in mind that you think you can make this happen, or?
I don't know, man. I really don't. Let's talk. Let's. I know a lot of peeps in this space, so I. Uh, in terms of like technicals and shit like that, like I'm not the most brilliant in that respect. To be honest. So, maybe I could get a team together or something like that, and we could get it together. So, it's like I said, it's been a thought, and it's something that, I really want to captivate on. And I think that, not only, is the the digital would be beautiful, but then you're going to have a physical with it as well. So it's something that, is tangible, and we're all longing that tangible thing. So, you get the best of both worlds, the digital and the physical. So, you know,
So would you like kind of put the models together ahead of time and use them for the images, or would you think you'd create all the pieces ahead of time?
that's a good question. Maybe, I could fabricate one and be that as the base and be that as the profile, and and just be a banger, and then maybe make a slew of different ones, and it would just be random to who gets what, right? But all elegant and all beautiful and all one of a kind.
Uh, Tater, what's up?
Bro, I need to ask this metalsmith a question,
What up?
and it's kind of a personal greed, Moon. I laser engrave metal on a daily basis, homie. I want to work with you where you send me like a blank in some sort of shape and frame, and I can laser engrave an image on it, and then it could be like a keychain. My ultimate goal would be to take like a 20-inch 3D metal statue that was handmade and laser engrave details onto the statue. So like the statue would just be a blank canvas, and then I could put like a dress and a shirt, and I could put their facial features, and I could put details in their hair, but it would all be done with a laser engraver. So it would be like I can do 0.33 millimeters into stainless steel. So like I would take her head and I would set it up on a rotary so I could laser engrave like hair details and rotate her head and hit another hair detail, and I'd put that deep. But like, bro, I love what you do. I'm gonna follow you because I have ideas every day, and I meet people that make those ideas potentially doable. So, dude, love it.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, shoot me a DM.
Bro, I just did a stainless steel fucking bottle opener for some homies, and we were chilling in Discord chat for ApeChain Maxis, and I showed them what I do. I just I copied, traced, reformatted, imaged their thing, and I made them a bottle opener right in the Discord chat. So that's some cool shit that goes on too. So
Very cool.
yeah, I'll send you a picture of this. It's pretty dope,
Okay,
homie.
cool. I love it.
Project. If you want to get any help with like the technicals of just like launching your NFT, I'm glad to help you set that part up. If you've got like the images or the sculptures together,
I appreciate that.
feel
Yeah, I know
free.
you have a lot of experience with that, so that I would take you up on that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of great platforms I can send you.
Cool.
Cool. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Your
guys.
artwork's awesome. I
Thanks
hope
for
somebody
thanks for everybody
commissions you.
listening to my shit.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
Next, I'll talk to is Wild Mage still up here? Wild Mage, what's up?
I'm here, but I've actually got a delivery order that's about to arrive in like a couple minutes. So give me a moment.
Cool. I'll swap out. Uh, Poison Clan NFTs, Sound Crew Collective. How you doing?
Hey, good, good. How you doing? Thanks for having
Good.
me up here tonight.
So, your project, is it still minting? Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's still minting. It's a grind, and don't mind me. I'm battling like a cold that I got from my kids, so I might be muting myself as I hack every so often. But
Thanks for coming
yeah,
anyway.
no problem, no problem, man. Yeah, the project's still minting. It's minting off of a mint pad. Uh, I it's been like a soul grind. Like I've been kind of trying to connect with everyone on ApeChain and just show my face and get to know all the different creators and projects out there. And the I had a little like a promotion that I did on Black Friday, which was pretty much like I just cut the mint price free, allocated like 3,000 of them, and it burned out. The 3,000 out of the collection size is 8,088. So what happened was once it burned at 3,000, I was like, shoot, and more people wanted to mint, so I allocated another 2,000, so it was five total. That burned out. So I treat it like a Black Friday sale. It's like, inventory's done. We're out of stock. And then I put back the mint price at 2.8. I've had a few mints here and there, but it's slow. I honestly have been on ApeChain for under 2 weeks. So it's just myself. I don't have a team. I'm the dev, I'm the founder, I'm the promoter, I'm everything. So it's just more just connecting with people and proving that, one, I'm here to help build and just be part of the community and get my art out there. That's the main thing for sure.
I haven't minted these yet. I'm definitely going to. They're like 2 8 each. Tell me about like what it's intended to be as far as a community,
So
if it is one or just art.
it's primarily art. So it's an art collection, art PFP. I honestly started the concept of it because one, like I'm an audio engineer, um, like trained, went to school for it. Uh, like I love music growing up, hip hop, you know, DJing, all that stuff was just part of everything that was surrounded me. So it was a collection that was like, I want to just make something almost like an homage of that. And I even made beats when I was a little bit younger, did the whole thing of trying to shop beats back in the day and that grind. So it was just something all encompassing, like I it sounds silly, but it was something where it's like I love a good pair of headphones. That got me through many, many days of commuting to work or getting to school when I was younger, or, whatever. And then just getting to zone out and just have something that you could just listen to, a nice pair of quality headphones was just great. That sounds cheesy, but that's really something that's like near and dear to me. But um, that collection was kind of inspired from all that. So I was just like, I was on Ethereum. I'll do a quick backstory. I was on Ethereum. I had another 10K collection that was called Young Panda. That one, it was, again, I did it myself. Did my own smart contract, did the generative art. Um, didn't do too well. Ethereum gas prices were pretty much hard for collecting if you weren't like a big blue chip type of collection. So when this time came around and I released this collection on Ethereum, I was like, I wanted to bring it down to a price point that was easy for people to collect and easy to do airdrops. But then gas was still an issue. And that's not how I wanted this collection to try to struggle against fighting for, gas fees and, not really going to make anything off the collection myself or hard to build because it's just so hard with Ethereum. So when ApeChain came out, it was almost beautiful. I was like, came out like maybe 2 weeks after releasing my collection. So I burned my collection on Ethereum, regenerated the traits and made a few more traits, brought it to ApeChain, and it's been fun. Like a few people that I've met, like they've seen, I've done some giveaways. Of course, I did the free on Black Friday. It's just made creating, like transferring, airdropping fun again. So um, yeah, like this collection ideally was just made to like get it easy for people to onboard into NFTs and collect something, even if it's just based on the art, and not have to break the bank. And then, of course, naturally, like if people love the art, they love the work I do. Hopefully, they stick around and do more work in the future. Type thing.
So is your primary medium of art music, and this is kind of you said just sentimental towards like the headphones and the like hip hop design behind uh, the artwork, but your like
You
primary medium still music?
you could say for digital art, it's heavily influenced by like hip hop or street culture from anything that I do design. I haven't done a music NFT. It is something that I'm kind of like kicking around the idea of like, do I maybe bring this to this collection because it's pretty much set up at the foundation where it's sound crew. Like, you know,
Do you make music
I've
outside of NFTs?
yeah, like I've made music in the past. I've worked as a freelancer to, create like music for even like real estate agents for their listings and stuff like that. So it's something day in and day out is like in IT. But I feel like I'm a person that has like many different creative paths. So for me, digital art and NFTs is like a passion and like an outlet for me. So that kind of allows me to like share my interests in my designs and like you know put it out there that way.
Are you the artist behind the like actual digital artwork for these NFTs?
Oh yeah, yeah. I create everything.
Can you tell us about your process and like programs you might have used to put these together? Like,
So for this collection and even my old collection, it's pretty much my Procreate on my iPad. So once I found before I found Procreate, I would do a lot of sketches and stuff just on paper. But once like that way of digital art on a tablet came, it was like the night and day. Because I'll admit, I'm not like one of the many talented artists that are in the space right now where they can like draw that perfect line in one fell swoop, or they can shade and blend right away. Like I need a few tries. I need to try it out, do it again, come back. So having that medium where you could just pretty much have like unlimited undos pretty much has been great. So Procreate, that's been like a heavy lifting for me. Um, I've done sculpting NFTs. Like there's been a few 3D renders I did for it was like on my last collection. It was a young panda. So it was a panda with a crown, shades, or whatever, and I kind of sculpted that using Nomad. So I taught myself to use Nomad and made a few creations with that. Uh, those are the two. And then if there's anything in the sense where like I had an airdrop I just released, which it was a 3D skateboard that I did the sound crew, an alpha, one of from the alpha batches, put it onto skateboard. So I threw that into Final Cut, added the images, added the 3D render, and just kind of did it up that way. So yeah, yeah, you could say Procreate, Nomad, and Final Cut are like tools of choice. And then of course if it's music stuff, then it'll be like FL Studio or Logic or something like that.
what does Nomad do?
So Nomad it's like Blender, but not as I wouldn't say it's not as powerful as Blender, but it's different. It's literally like a clay sculpting application on the iPad. So you get like you say like a ball clay medium, and you can just sculpt it and stretch it, smooth it out, shape it however you need to. And you can create some dope art with it. Uh, Blender, I did try out Blender, but for me it was just I felt like I went down that donut rabbit hole tutorial, and I got to the point where I couldn't get the sprinkles. So then I got frustrated, and I was like, I was doing it on the laptop and everything. But then when it came to the tablet, I could just sit back on, the sofa, and then you're just using the pen and you're just going at it. It's easier and quicker to do stuff. So yeah, it's similar, but some people may argue that they are very different. But to me, it's kind of similar. Blender and Nomad.
Up top, the community I posted is the Sound Crew Collective community. If anyone's interested in joining that on Twitter, so give that a look. I guess I want to ask: is there anything else you want to tell people about either your artwork or the Sound Collective itself, like
Honestly,
your goals with it?
goals is just to, if I get this into as many hands as possible, which has already started, which has been great. Like, honestly, and this is pretty much just a plug to almost everybody in the ApeChain community. Like, coming onto this chain has been night and day for me compared to how it was in Ethereum, because it's just been more inviting. There's been a lot more positive feedback. Like, not even in the sense to say, like, I'm minting out day one, and that was never expected, but just the vibes that I'm getting from everybody in the community has been awesome. So it's something where it's like I would just expect that as long as I'm showing up, trying to create as dope as art as I can, then eventually things will take off to wherever they will be. But yeah, like, again, if anyone mints, I'll be forever grateful. You'll be part of the airdrops, for sure. There's, there's a few people that have come onto ApeChain that has known me for a few years, so they know that I'm good for my word, not like some of the rugs that we've seen lately. So so yeah, like, I appreciate everybody, and yeah, I'm always available to just hit me up if you have any questions or want to learn more about me or my work, for sure.
So this last post I'm sharing up top includes the Magic Eden link and also the Mint link.
Yeah,
You used Mintpad to create it for people that might be unfamiliar.
yeah,
Um,
Minpad. I don't want to dog Minpad too hard. Minpad, I think they're gonna have an upgrade soon. There was a few issues I had with Minpad. So, for instance, if you go through my collection, there's no rarities that are listed. So I had to put them in the info because something happened during their upload process, and their contract doesn't allow you to change the metadata after the fact. There are some contracts with some other platforms where you can go in and you can update, change, like, to your heart's desire. So fortunately, that happens. So going forward, we'll see what I use if I do another collection. But right now it is minting on Mintpad, but I do apologize if you notice that there's no rarities. But it makes it fun. It's like ripping a pack of, like, collector cards, and you try to just see what you like, and you kind of go from there.
I had a similar issue with one of the collections I minted um, with Mintpad rarity. But yeah, they're all just getting started on a brand new chain. But yeah, uh, understand your trouble with the rarity not coming out right.
Oh yeah,
Uh, well, thank you for sharing. I guess if anyone's interested in minting, the post is up top. Uh, is there anything else you'd like to tell people, or anyone have any
yeah.
questions for Sound Crew Collective?
Uh, la- Last thing I'll quickly add is there is a one of one at the within the end of the mint. So whoever does eventually get to that point and this collection mints out, there'll be something there, and then I'll probably turn that into a one of one. I forgot to add my previous collection. I was doing physical skateboards with each NFT that was minted. So
Oh,
this
nice.
might be something that I may do if the collection mints out. Hint, hint. No, I'm just saying. But, I appreciate everybody.
Can you tell us about that? I guess before you stop, your previous collection you made physical skateboards for.
Yeah, yeah. So what I did was each it was a collection that was called "Can You Kick It?" So again, kind of going back to, like, my hip hop roots and that. So it was like a monkey that had a bunch of different, you could say, sweaters. It was simple. It was just like I was in the beginning when I was trying to figure out the whole like digital creation and the NFT stuff, and then with 3D. So it had like some Jordan ones. It had the sweaters on, and so I would put them on skateboards and make different designs with it. And then what I did was anyone that minted one, I put a QR code. So I'll get the skateboard created, make a QR code that went and linked to their NFT. So I had a collector, and God bless this guy. Like he minted probably like 6 or 7 of them, and he displayed them up on his wall, and he has like all of them there. So when he's told me that if people come by, he just scans the QR code, takes them to the NFT. So something that, yeah, I will probably do it again with this collection. It's just a matter of like getting it off the ground and then getting things going, and even different mediums. But yeah, stuff like that for me is fun. It's just to give back, but then also just to like bring the NFTs into the physical realm as well.
Yeah, we're getting a couple of people with interest in physical artworks today. That's cool because that's newer for our space. Yeah, I was just interested in seeing hearing about the skateboard. You don't have to make any promises for this collection or anything. Someone out here, Ruka de Ruka, just bought a couple of your Poison Clan NFTs, so I pasted up top.
Oh, that's dope, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and thanks for coming up and sharing. I'll let you go for now and move on to the next artist, but I appreciate you sharing your NFTs and story.
Yeah, thanks for having me up. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Wild Mage, how are you doing? You ready, or you need a couple minutes still?
Oh, I'm here.
Sweet. All right. You had. What did you want to talk about in general? I know you had one collection on ApeChain called the
Ape,
ApeSnack.
ApeSnack. Yeah, it's I would say that I more or less just sort of jumped into everything blindly without really knowing exactly what I was doing, and so we're really not sure how to exactly proceed with it. We've thought about just going ahead and opening the mint up, but
What's the story behind it?
well, so we wanted to create an aesthetic of, I guess, I guess the visual concept of a half unwrapped banana with 2 to 3 scoops of ice cream of varying flavor and sprinkles upon said half open banana, just as I guess it's sort of yeah, me and a friend of mine kind of, I guess, dipping our toes into things because
Aping in.
a friend of mine that I know IRL, he actually he makes patches. He pretty much has his entire vocation is pretty much built upon making patches of different kinds of vinyl, wood, fabric materials, and because apparently there's on Facebook and on Instagram there's a IRL patch community, and he's sort of built up a bit of a name for himself as an artist within that community, and so we were kind of thinking about trying to create something that would be very simple, patches out of it, but we kind of felt we honestly we kind of felt a bit discouraged about the fact that I jumped in as a mutant ape, jumped in a few spaces, offered some free mints, and we didn't really get much of a response. We didn't even free mint the full 5 like free mints that we offered. So we've sort of been just kind of mulling, you know, what to do, how to go about, how to proceed further. I've got a few more ideas that I think that I would like to put on the ape chain, but I, you know, it's
Is it
sometimes
a free mint that hasn't minted out yet?
I think that there's one more free mint. I'd have to go check, but yeah, like, and I know that this is just kind of how things go. I don't know. I'm not necessarily you know, even though like I'm a co-host of Magic Monday News, which is like the community, like Twitter Spaces for the Forgotten Runes community. Me, me and my other co-host Tin Void, we've never really been very great at marketing and understanding, like, I guess the nuances of like getting attention to a project. And yeah, so I'm kind of sort of I'm kind of in repose at the moment, just kind of watching, seeing what other folks are doing, and trying to sort of figure out what my next steps might be. Maybe I need to pivot to a different kind of project. Um, yeah, it's not as simple and as easy as I think people think it is.
Marketing is definitely the hardest part.
But yet sometimes like lightning just strikes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like most of the people that like succeeded here had like, well, not like that minted out, but that minted out and made a bunch of money, had like weeks of advertising ahead of time. I'm not the best with that either, but I mean, just coming on recorded spaces like this gets the word out some. I'm trying to figure out how to mint it right now on my computer. I mean, it's MintPad. The other thing, MintPad is not automatically picked up uh, by Magic Eden's mint terminal. I don't think so. That's a reason why people might not see it, even if it's a free mint. I'm going
Yeah.
to check right now and see if that's updated or not.
No, I think
Mint
you're actually
terminal.
right. Sorry, just to add in. Magic Eden doesn't see Minpad.
Yeah, so that's, I think, might be it. Like, you might, if you're going for self serve, then and you don't have it's cheap and you're not like, you don't have a huge crowd that you're already marketing to, then NFTs to me might be a better choice, just because people will see it as it's minting. But
What
sorry, go ahead.
what would be a better I guess aside from MintPad, what would be, I guess, a better um I guess NFT launchpad for such purposes?
Um, I don't know what's the goal with the project. If it's just like an art project, either way, you could talk to Blever, but Blever's kind of like stacked right now with requests. They're a good team, but it's they're kind of uh, I don't know, in high demand right now, so it's hard to.
How would you compare Lever's mechanics and functions versus MintPad?
So I don't really even know Blever's mechanics and functions, because I think a lot of it happens behind the scenes for you. I'm talking to him right now, but I don't have anything solid either. Like but the nice part about Blever compared to the others is that the marketing, a lot of it's built in because everybody's already searching Blever for things to mint. You know, they made the Blever mint pass, and a lot of the stuff on Blever mints out, if not all of it, until recently. I haven't checked, but so I guess that's like the advertising or advantage to Blever or like Magic Eden. Like, it's going to take longer, and they have to choose whether or not they accept you. It's not a self serve, but your marketing, you don't have to try probably nearly as hard, or you at least get a boost from the platform itself. So like Mintpad is like entirely self-service, and a little clunky. So it was like it's good, but yeah, you have to pretty much do all the advertising yourself because it doesn't even pop up on Magic Eden's like launch thing when people are scanning. But what did you have? What did you have in mind for your other projects you're thinking about making? I posted the mint link up top for this. If anyone's interested, I'm going to mint a few of these as well.
I actually, I don't know. Did I actually send? I sent you. I want to say that I sent you and a couple other apes that I know that I guess sort of a sample of there's a friend of mine that was really big into graffiti growing up, living in San Francisco in the Tenderloin in the 80s. And so he really got into tagging and whatnot. And after he ended up getting out of that sort of those circumstances, he had a bit of a habit of always enjoying just scribbling graffiti on notebooks. And so I have a number of his works, but I'm not entirely sure what to do with it. So I've almost considered maybe, I don't know, trying to layer some of his graffiti on, like, say, a banana, for instance, as a maybe a small batch 100 to 150 NFT set. Maybe call it like something like Tag Banana.
Yeah, I like the concept.
Did
Even
I
if it's
happen to
not a
send you?
banana,
Did I send you some examples of his graffiti?
I don't think so. Unless it's not bear snake, is it?
No, I would
Yeah,
have
I
to
don't
send
think
you
so.
some to see what you think. He's got a very eccentric and funky style, and yeah, he basically, I guess, to sort of to do it legally, so to speak, he can find it to just his notebook, and basically it was like, hey, if you could make some NFTs out of this someday and make some money, just let me know.
That's always a nice opportunity.
Yeah, so I I don't know. I've had a few other ideas of possibly trying to create some sort of maybe a wizard NFT set on ApeChain, because that has definitely not been done.
Yeah, I think there's Zard's Pixel Collection, but it's that's the only one I've seen.
Hmm. Yeah, actually, I'll have to check them out, see what they're doing. Like, it doesn't seem like the Forgotten Runes Wizard cult like community is really like on ApeChain necessarily, though.
No, not really. People are like just kind of starting to experiment with it since the price of ape went up. I mean, we have a
Yeah.
lot, or some more people are. What kind of like wizard collection would you make? Something inspired by Forgotten Runes, like a storytelling type thing?
Like, I considered maybe so, there's uh there's the 10,000 wizards as far as their like signature like first set that they made, and maybe potentially making a sort of alternate ape universe metaverse version of maybe like 1,000 or 2,000 combinations of wizards that were never ever created, based on all of the assets in terms of combination.
That'd be
Like,
awesome.
they would,
They look,
yeah, they would actually, they would be wizards with all of the original assets, but yet it's simply never been I guess, made combination wise in the original 10,000.
Would Forgotten Runes back you up on that, or are they like CCO or something, or are you able to do that?
From what I can tell, I think that they would pretty much be okay with it actually. I would definitely want to inquire, but from what I gather, just chatting with the three main devs in particular, they uh they seem that I know that like you can actually use your own wizard CCO wise for up to like $5 million worth of profit before you have to negotiate with the devs about making further profits.
I mean, that sounds. I would go that direction for sure, and you'd be bringing over a lot of people from Forgotten Runes. Also, they got really dedicated fan base, and you'd be bringing ApeChain people over to Forgotten Runes.
And they've got their own token and chain like in the works that's been recently announced.
What's that?
The I guess hashtag XP.
Got it. I don't know much about it. You want to tell us anything about it, or not
Oh,
really?
no, they've been like intentionally mysterious and mum about it, which on one hand, like Forgotten Runes, that they've actually been pretty solid about delivering a lot to the community, but I feel that sometimes they tend to be very secretive about their plans, and that in a space where road maps are kind of expected, they kind of they kind of defy those expectations, much to the chagrin of some of the community members.
Yeah, less promises and more delivering. That seems to be like a good formula.
I mean, it does, but it definitely draws some haters in the short term, though.
Yeah, for sure. Um,
But yeah, no, I'm just glad to be a part of this community and getting to soak up some of the knowledge and insight that others that have definitely been more successful than I, and how they've gone about doing things on ApeChain.
yeah, I wish I had more tips for you about like marketing for the launch. For me, I used a token to help like market for the collection that I made, Mysterious Dudes. Um, like first was just word of mouth on Twitter, but there wasn't anybody bridged yet for a couple days, and then minted the rest of them out when I launched the Dudes token and linked to the NFTs. So there's a that was my strategy. I don't really know how to draw more attention to your mint pad besides just this like going around to different spaces for a while and showing the link. It's a cheap mint, so there's also been like less activity. I want to say over the last week or so. Like there's Art Basel, but also just like so many of these major coins are pumping. I feel like people are not focused on the ape chain tokens and NFTs as much right now.
I've really felt like a little bit of which I felt a little bit of disappointment, but it's all a learning curve when it comes to what we were trying to do with Ape Snacks. But then again, I don't know. Like I said, this IRL friend of mine, he he really is a master of his craft when it comes to creating patches of all sorts of different kinds of like designs materials, and I've definitely wanted to just help put him on, just because really just because of the fact that when it comes down to it, man, in this space and everything that we're doing, if we're not putting on our other friends and contacts, like, we're not growing.
Definitely. I don't even think you have to put his artwork on a banana. I mean, if you've got a bunch of his artwork, why not just help him release it as one of ones or something?
And I definitely see, like, there's definitely a lack of, like, patches in what I would say both the ape community and the wizard community, as well as like NFTs as a whole.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, they're used just like rewards in mini games and stuff, but I really haven't seen many NFTs with patches. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That's like a good point that you bring in, like bringing in your friends and like other artists that you know is the only way the space is going to grow with ApeChain or Web3 in general.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've definitely tried to urge on some other folks that I know that are far more artistic than I am, and unfortunately, most of them just sort of are like NFTs.
Right.
Like they already have preconceptions based on everything the mainstream media has already told them.
I run into the same problem trying to onboard people on NFTs. Like NFTs just have a stigma, but to me, it was like really the first way for a lot of digital artists to make money at all. You know, like what were you doing before then? Before NFTs, if you were trying to sell digital art. So I think it's kind of well, obviously it's a mistake for artists that you know don't want to at least explore the NFT space.
Yeah, it's something that a friend of mine once pointed out once upon a time, that all of the articles in mainstream media that tend to poo-poo NFTs never fail to never ever mention the lack of, like, there's no middleman. Like, you set the royalties, you create, and you just simply put it out there yourself. Like, there's a structure of independence there that
Right.
yeah, all the mainstream media articles when it comes to royalties, they yeah, like I said, they never fail to never ever mention that aspect.
Yeah, I think a lot of artists would. I don't know. There's a lot of artists out there that'd be successful out here. They'd give it a shot. Like especially, you know, the quality of some artists compared to some of what's produced on chain. Like we're still catching up for sure in realms outside digital art. But all right, well, thank you for coming up and sharing. Is there anything else? Where should we keep up to date about your future mints if you're going to have any? And I guess where do you want to move forward from here? Like probably make new
I
projects.
Man, I feel like I'm still, like, mulling my options, but I would definitely I would definitely love and appreciate being a future guest at some point when I do feel like I have something to specifically announce, though.
Of course, yeah, and I'll mint the ape snacks either way. But like, there's everybody's just experimenting on this chain, so I don't think anybody really is gonna give you shit or care if you made ape snacks and I wasn't like a mint out or the biggest bang, and then you go ahead and try something new. Like, there's no problem with that, especially we're just
Yeah,
making art.
yeah. There is there is no dishonor in just simply trying and doing your best.
Right. Well, I hope you get out of mall phase soon and come up with something cool because I'm excited to see what you build.
I appreciate you, Grimy Frankie.
Appreciate you, Wild Mage. All right,
Mhm.
I'm going to move on to our last featured guest of the night before we open up. Vishay, are you there?
GM, Grimy, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for the space. And I want to start with a short story of my background. Um, I'm an artist about 15 years. I started my art journey in 2010 with physical traditional miniature paintings, and at the same time I was studying contemporary art, so I was always thinking, how can I combine these two media? And I've never hesitated to apply various kinds of media and styles. In 2014, after finishing my master in arts research, I shifted to video and performance art and digital art. So I had some collaboration with international performing projects during COVID, and after that I had some collaboration with some musicians and creating some video arts which was selected in different film festivals, and also one of my artworks is permanently exhibited in Museum of Technology and Science of Mexico. Uh, and in Web3, I started it in 2021, and I remember the days that I was in Board Ape clubs, clubhouse rooms. At that time, I didn't know anything about them, and I was shocked what they are talking about. They were so funny, and I've never involved with them at that time. And when I found out about the ApeChain community since 13 years ago, 14 years ago, I think, with this change and working with them, but I didn't know how should I start. So I prefer to have some of my AI artworks, which is these are the combination of AI and Photoshop, and also I had this project before actually, and they are the inspiration of my choreographies and performances. This is a very small collection, but it was the reason to involving with ape community and get to know them better. So there is some other projects I want to work with some of the musicians and creating their video arts, and also in other part of my life I'm working on different things which I'm thinking about how can I combine them with ape community or their IRL events. I'm running some art therapy classes for people over 60 years old, and this is the coordination of their body, mind, and communication, and also figuring out their uh, hidden talented during their life. And also I'm collaborating with some professional musicians, and I'm creating video art for them. And other part of my life is creating the patterns for textiles. And I was thinking to create some textiles for PFP projects. I also have this experience with one Solana PFP project. I was designing the patterns of their dresses. So yes, I have lots of plan in future, but this collection is very small, and I didn't do any marketing for that. Just ticket for me to enter the ape community and to get to know them better. And yeah, if you have any question, thank you so much for the space and the time.
And thank you for coming up. I just your collection name is Infinite Dance, or is
Yes, exactly.
okay? I just threw a mint link up top because I found it. But can you tell us about like the process of creating one of these pieces, start to finish?
Yeah, as I said, this collection is created by AI, but I manipulate them with Photoshop, and the inspiration was actually driven with last year open call. There was one open call to get to take some artworks to the surface of the moon by NASA projects, and it should be most of them should be AI artworks and related to DNA of the humanity. At that time, I started to create some artworks with this theme, and my work also selected, and one of them will go to surface of the moon with 36 other artist artworks. And yeah, this collection is also the continue of that project. And also I got inspiration for my choreography and performance art with I'm using AI sometimes, and it helps me for some performance and choreography.
Chris, what's up?
Yeah, I wanted to know, because you mentioned you're doing a lot of collaborations with other artists as well. What do you have any artists that you're willing to share that you're looking to collaborate with?
Yes, they are not actually in this space, but yeah, I was also talking with Nana. Maybe we have some collaboration with each other in this space. He's a great musician. But the other artists that I'm collaborating with, they're professional artists, and they are not working in Web3. These are some Web2 stuff.
When you talk about the different types of video art that you were making, either for musicians or videos featured in film festivals, can you tell us like what your video style is like?
Yeah, when I was starting art journey, it was like a therapy for me at the first time. That's why I'm working on I'm running some art therapy classes right now. So most of them imply the suspension and human isolation and predefined social concepts. So they're a little bit dark. You can check out some of my video arts on Foundation and Super Rare, and also on my YouTube. And yeah, style is a little bit dark, I can say.
I mean, I'd be interested to see more of it. Where can people find the work you said? What should we look up on YouTube or on Super Rare?
Yes, you can check some of my artworks out there.
All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to share about your artwork or this upcoming mint? It's 30 101s and they're 8 each. So I'll definitely mint one of these, but people in the audience, check them out. The pinned link is up top.
Yeah, thank you so much for the space and for the time. Yeah, actually, this project is very small collection, and I have some plan for my collectors and also for further projects. And yeah, it was the key for me to enter the ape community.
Well, welcome to the ape community. I'll definitely give it a look, and I hope that your project mints out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for making the time and sharing. Those are our featured artists for today. Borzi, are you interested in talking about your photography project? I know you've got an open mint right now.
Yep. Hey, how are you guys? My name is Borzi Guccione. I'm a street photographer from Chicago, and I decided to drop a 101 on the ApeChain. Let me just. Do you want to pin it or? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
just pinned
Grimy
it.
already pinned. Yeah. There's only 11 editions so far. There has been 4 minted, so 7 left. And yeah, I do, like I said, street photography. I'm 2 years into the photography. I started some YouTube channel, but I haven't been consistent with it. But I'm gonna continue with it in Q1 of 2025. And with this mints on ApeChain, what I decided to drop is usually the art that is featured somewhere. So, for instance, this photo that is pinned on the top was featured on the Chicago Theater official page on Instagram. They asked me for a photo, I gave them permission. And I also have features like Tribunal Tower Residency, Aqua Residency Tower as well. Intercontinental on Magnificent Mile also used my photos for their stories, and a lot of those. So yeah, this is my first mint. More will come in future, and I will try to implement some physical stuff to it, like some prints that I would send out, or I just have to figure out those ones. So I don't know, Frankie, if you have some suggestion or someone else, my DMs are always open, and it would be appreciated.
I've not about physical prints. I'm not really sure about carrying those out, but I could definitely help you if needed. I minted one of these NFTs. I love this photograph, and it being featured. It's an iconic photograph. I love it. I was also looking back at the Ethereum stuff that I minted from you and found some on Miami Beach that are definitely some of my favorite NFTs. They remind me of Ocean Drive and living here. So, but yeah, check out his mint link up top. don't know how long it's open, but there's 11 editions for 28 each for his first ApeChain NFT launch. Is there anything else you want to throw out there, Borzy? Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, those Ethereum ones were like I said last time, closed for friends and family. Basically, it was my first time minting anything, and it was more pushed by friends of mine. But this time, I wanted to do something that carry more weight. Like those features that you can say like you own something from me, which is featured somewhere else, and I feel like it's much better. I also have some stuff from NFT NYC. There's some NFT events from Switzerland. Like there's a lot of stuff that I can put out in the future. But yeah, I also want to thank you for minting this one and supporting me since the beginning. We know each other for a long time, so yeah, I really appreciate you.
Of course, appreciate you too, man. And your photography is fantastic. It has been for years. So I'm glad to own another piece of it on ApeChain. Is there anyone else that wants to speak about their artwork? I'll open up the floor for a little bit because we've got some time before Chris's space. Or if there's anyone that had any questions for Borzy or any of the other artists, feel free to request or raise your hand or something. Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys all for coming in today. I'm going to wrap up the space in a couple minutes here. Up top, I'm posting a link to Chris's space if he's got it ready. Otherwise, if you want to make it, I'll throw it up there.
Yeah, it should be. I posted it up. We should have it up. I'm starting about 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, so I just threw that link to the space up top. He talks more ApeChain DJ Hours space that hosts every night. This one starts a little early, which is good for me because of my time zone. But yeah, feel free to go there if you guys want to talk ApeChain tokens or NFT plays, stuff like that. It's more open degen space for everyone to pitch in. Also, another link I'm going to share up top. If anyone's interested in being a featured artist on this space, feel free to fill out this anonymous Google form and I'll sign you up. All right, cool. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Appreciate it, guys. Man. Thank you.
Thanks again, man.